Cool. Alrighty. So, sorry. What's the button you press on Excel to make it full screen? I don't remember. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm a system, so I should have known that. Alrighty. So, this course is just assuming you don't know anything about cryptocurrency at all. Okay. I mean, in the latter parts, we're going to get into more in-depth stuff, but that's what it's going to start out with. All right. So, the first thing is what is cryptocurrency, and I think he kind of went over the definition, but it's essentially just one long string of characters that represents a value. You can put a value on anything, but that's kind of what it is. So it's not tangible. It's totally made up. I mean, but every currency is kind of made up and just backed on the faith of it. So that, but the thing about this is it runs independent. It's decentralized. It does not depend on any bank or any entity. I got that. That's pretty much just that, right? Cool. I just not a partner here. So, but essentially, that's kind of what cryptocurrency is. I try to say cryptocurrency because there's a lot of different cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin's the most popular, but some people like to just say Bitcoin to prefer to all cryptocurrency. But there's hundreds of cryptocurrency. The most popular is Bitcoin, of course. So cryptocurrency is stored in a digital wallet. So you have to have a wallet to receive and to send. If you don't have one, you can't do that. So private keys are what allows you to access the coins. So depending on where you store them, you may have access to your private keys and you may not. And the next thing, then this is critical, is once you send the transaction, it's irreversible. So if you send Bitcoin to somebody, it's like sending Western Union. You can't get that back. You cannot get that back. If somebody hacks your wallet, and it's gone. So if I found out how to get in your wallet and I send the coin somewhere, it's finished. So that's why ensuring that you keep the coins on hand is very critical there. So how do you store it? Again, like I said, you need a wallet to receive coin. That's there's different types of wallets. You can have an online wallet like Coinbase, Blockchain's another wallet, or you can have a desktop wallet like Exodus, and they all have their pros and cons, but I'm going to go over that. So, and you need different wallets to store different coins. So think of it like you need a different wallet to store Euro or a different wallet to store USD. There's different currencies. So if you have Bitcoin, you need a Bitcoin wallet. If you had Litecoin, you need a Litecoin wallet. If you have just whatever Bitcoin Cash, you need a Bitcoin Cash wallet. You can't send Litecoin to a Bitcoin wallet and vice versa. So, and again, each type of wallet, meaning if it's online, offline, or desktop, has its own pros and cons. So with an online wallet, it's easily accessible from anywhere. You can log on anywhere on the internet and access it. It's easier to send and receive money because you can just pull out your phone and say, hey, let me send you this Bitcoin, and I can send it to you or what have you. And it's really easy to set up. And there's a thing called exchange. You can think of that like if you're exchanging like stocks and stuff. You can go on exchange and buy normally exchanges are used for a large portion of Bitcoin, but you can buy a small portion. But since they're linked with an exchange, it's very easy. It's really easy for you to open up a wallet on an exchange and quickly make a sell. So, but the downside, they are susceptible to being hacked. Somebody can hack it and steal your money. It's online and it's server dependent. So if the server goes down or if they run away, I forgot what was that exchange you said that shut down and ran off of people's money?
That Mt. Gox, the big one, the one that shut down first.
I forgot the name of it.
Mount Gox.
Mount Gox. Yeah, they just shut down and people couldn't access their money anymore. So the website can close, or the website can just go down, and you just can't access the coin. If it went down for like 5 hours and you wanted to do a transaction, you couldn't. And also, you don't have direct access to your private keys. And why that matters is when there's forks, like there's a upcoming fork that's going to happen in Bitcoin, and when a fork happens, if you have access to your private keys, you can actually transfer all that balance to whatever new fork. Like back in September, there was a fork with Bitcoin.
What is fork?
A fork is like where a group of miners or a group of people say, hey, we don't like how the way this is going. We're going to make our own currency. So when a fork happens, in Bitcoin, like when Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash forked, what happened was half of the people said, okay, we want it this way, we want it that way. So when the fork happened, if you had money in your wallet, they would give you the equal amount of the new currency. So they made Bitcoin Cash, and they give you the equivalent of Bitcoin Cash in that if you wanted to trade it over to that, or you could keep the regular Bitcoin. So whenever you hear about a fork, it's normally when another group wants to make their own currency and they want to break off. And generally with Bitcoin, normally they give you, when these forks have happened, they give you the same amount in that new coin. And then once you decide to switch over to that new coin, it's kind of like a schism from there.
So from 2006, Bitcoin has been around since 2006, right? How many forks have happened?
Well, the most recent fork was Bitcoin Cash.
Okay.
Then they had another fork called Bitcoin Gold, but that wasn't a true fork, because if I recall, they didn't offer that where they give you the money for the other one. It just kind of forced. Some exchanges did. Okay.
What's the basic difference between Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin?
Well, it's a little technical, but essentially, when you send money on the block, there's some slides later on about the blockchain, but when you send money on Bitcoin, there's pretty much it goes through the blockchain, and it only the old blockchain had a 1 megabyte buffer. So let's say the blockchain was very, very saturated with a lot of transactions. And when I say blockchain, imagine when you go into a store and you swipe your credit card, and when you swipe on your credit card, that server is reaching out to the merchant, which reaches out to your bank account to collect the funds. So with Bitcoin, that's all that's happening. When you send the wallet, it's going out to the merchant. Well, it's going through the network, but it's going through the miners, which we'll get into the miners in a minute. But it reaches out to the miners, and it traverses the network to go and send the Bitcoin to the receiver. So before it was a 1 megabyte buffer. So let's say it was very, very saturated with a lot of transactions. If you try to send money to him, sometimes if it's very saturated, it could take a whole day to send the money. That's not good. So Bitcoin had realized that this was an issue, so they proposed a solution to make the buffer 2 megabytes. There were some other miners that were like, hey, that's not enough. We want a larger buffer, so we want it 8 megabytes because we want to make it grow longer. So they forked. Bitcoin Cash gave them an 8 megabyte buffer, so they could fit this many transactions, because 1 megabyte could fit this many, 2 megabytes this many. They said we want it to be 8, so that way in the future it's going to be future proof. And so they schismed, and that's when Bitcoin Cash came into.
So right now there's only 2 types, like
no, there's a third one called Bitcoin Gold. Correct, and that one, the technical reason why is because they weren't very happy with the fact that
who are they? You say they,
like a group of miners, anybody can make a cryptocurrency. The algorithm is open. Like if you want to make one, you can make one in you can hire a program and make one in a day. The main problem is advertising and getting it out there. But making a cryptocurrency, anybody can go do that. But with Bitcoin Gold, they were upset with the fact that when you mine Bitcoins, essentially you have to get this rig to mine Bitcoin. Anybody can be a miner. You have to get a rig. They were upset with the fact that as you mined, essentially when you mine, there's how the way Bitcoins come into existence is when you mine, there's computational algorithms that have to be solved. Okay. There's computational algorithms that have to be solved, and whoever's computer solves these complex algorithms is awarded new Bitcoin. That's how new Bitcoin come into existence. But the computational algorithms become more difficult over time, like that, and so that works as a way to kind of make sure that too much Bitcoin doesn't get released. Well, what ended up happening was these people in China created these really, really efficient ways to mine called these ASIC miners. ASIC miners are very difficult to buy. You can only buy them in China pretty much, and only 3 manufacturers can buy them. So they pretty much rendered a regular mining rig. Like normally a mining rig consists of like, you have 8 GPUs in it, and it's like mining all this power and trying to mine those complex algorithms. Well, when they created these ASIC miners, the ASIC miners could do 10 times more what any powerful computer could do. So a lot of people were not happy about that, because with the ASIC miners, only China had them. So China was able to go and kind of take over the Bitcoin mining. So there's a lot of other cryptocurrencies that are ASIC resistant. And when I say ASIC resistant, ASIC miners do not work with them. So you have to use a traditional computer with GPUs. And when I say GPUs, CPUs are not very efficient with mining Bitcoin. GPUs are more efficient. So they wanted to bring it back to the normal person, because GPUs you can get anywhere, but those ASIC miners, it's only like 2 or 3 retailers in the world that sell them, and they're all in China. And to buy them, you have to use Bitcoin. So it kind of, because back in the way day, anybody could mine. Anybody just go get a machine and start mining. But as those ASIC miners came out, and again, the difficulty gets higher as the difficulty becomes higher to kind of stop the amount of Bitcoins being released. So at this point, if you wanted to mine, you'd have to get one of those ASIC miners. And to purchase an ASIC miner right now, it'd probably take you a year to break even if you got one. So that's kind of the gist. So when Bitcoin Gold came out, they made it to where it was ASIC resistant. Ethereum, Zcash, those are other ones. Those are ASIC resistant as well. So
you can mine them on a regular PC.
You can mine them with regular GPUs.
So tell us about mining in Qatar. Is it legal? Is it illegal? Is it allowed?
I mean,
who mines?
I wouldn't say it's illegal.
It's not illegal?
No, because it's.
So do you guys mine?
I used to mine. Right now, mining is not profitable for me, because I can't afford one of those ASICs.
Correct.
Because they're like $10,000 right now.
Yes.
So I used to mine. I had a computer with like about 2 or 3 graphics cards, really powerful graphics card. I used to mine with that. So
what the name of the card?
Excuse me?
VGA.
Like the 1080,
AMD cards work very well. Any AMD graphics card, they work very well for it. So some of the higher end ones, AMD, NVIDIA, they actually put out cards right now and motherboards right now that's specifically for mining. And they, like, you go on sites like Newegg, Amazon, like that, and you can put in like Bitcoin mining gear, and you'll see all the graphics card that they recommend and mining gear like that. So I did that, but when the competition became too difficult, I either had to go out and buy new graphics cards, buy a new motherboard, or just go to the exchange and buy Bitcoin. So it came to the point where going to the exchange and buying Bitcoin was much cheaper.
So let me ask you another question, if I may. So in your humble opinion, how long does it take to profit?
Well,
I mean, let's say you want to mine, hypothetically speaking, in Qatar. How many rigs do you?
That question is dependent on what you're mining. If you're trying to mine Bitcoin, it's not going to be profitable, because again, like I said, the ASIC miners, only 3 manufacturers, and they're all in China make them, and you're competing with them. So they've got so many ASIC miners out there and whole warehouses of them. So for you to compete with them, you'd have to get a bunch of them. They're always sold out. The ASIC miners pretty much are always sold out. And if you can get them, people are going to overcharge for them, like $10,000, like you said. So like that would take you over a year and a half to break even.
So like right now, I do cloud mining right now. So cloud mining is where I pay somebody who has a bunch of ASICs and sitting in a data center somewhere. Okay. And I buy hash power from them.
Right.
So, and when I buy the hash power, whatever Bitcoin they mine that day is what I get. So that's been more profitable for me. Like I started doing that with a company called ASIC Miners back in June. I paid $852 for a 2-year contract, and with the price of Bitcoin soaring like it is, I already made $1,500. So I've made my money back twice over almost, just from cloud mining. So I had a choice of either spend that $852 and buy new graphics cards, buy another motherboard, and pay my electric bill from that, and which gets very expensive because you have to buy a bigger power supply. Or I can put that $852 into a cloud mining company and let them do that, and I collect. So every day I use an Exodus wallet for my desktop, and every day I can hear the coins just hit.
So okay, got it. So in America, ASIC, the machines, they're non-existent then?
ASIC, or it's only Chinese manufacturers that get them. Okay. But again, we're talking about ASIC, ASIC type of currencies that accept ASIC miners. There's other currencies that are ASIC resistant, like Ethereum. You cannot mine with ASIC. Another one, Zcash, you can't mine. Bitcoin Cash, you cannot mine with ASIC. Okay. So that's something to keep in mind there. So, but like he said, the software wallet, the pros of the software wallet, and down there is a picture of the Exodus wallet. It's more secure than an online wallet. So, because it's on your desktop, the data is accessible. You have accessibility to your private key. So if a fork happens, like for example, when this upcoming fork was happening November 16th, is it? Yeah. 16th. He can go ahead and transfer his coins to the new SegWit 2X fork that's going to happen. And then the user can back up the keys themselves. Whereas with online, you cannot back up your keys. And when I say keys, that's your coin, because your coin is linked to a private key.
So another benefit to the private key with this, like you can only open this Exodus wallet on that one machine, like whichever one you set it up on. So when you have access to your private keys, if that machine hard drive blow up or whatever, and you go and download it, it's not screwed because you have your private keys.
Correct.
So you could go on there and it's going to ask you to import that private key. Once you import that private key, it will just bring this up when you have all your coins still. So that, I'm sure he's going to get into the downfall of it, but the downfall of that is expensive to send. Like if you want to send someone some Bitcoin or send it to a program, what have you, that to me is expensive. But you could adjust that. Like if you want to get there faster, you pay more. If you don't care when it gets there, you pay less.
Yeah. So like to piggyback on what he's saying, when you send money, another way miners get paid is based on how much the transaction fee is. So normally when you go and swipe your credit card at a business, that business has to pay a transaction fee to the merchant who's operating that credit card machine. Normally the merchant eats that cost, but with Bitcoin, the sender has to pay that cost. And the price is dependent upon how busy the blockchain is. Because as a miner, if it's very saturated, the blockchain is very saturated, I'm going to mine the highest paying transactions first. Because like he said, you can adjust how much money you want to pay as far as sending. But if you put a low amount, it may take you like 1 or 2 days for somebody to mine that transaction. So as the cons, that was not a con I said, but appreciate you letting me know about that one. But one of the cons is if the device on the coins is lost and you don't have your seed, your coins are gone. So a seed is like 24 sets of characters, words, that you can use to reconstruct your wallet. So if that machine blows up or something happens, you can go to another machine, open up Exodus, and type in these 24 unique words, and it'll rebuild your wallet. Now that's the downside of that is if I stole your wallet, your seed, I could go reconstruct your wallet and steal your coin. So it's really not recommended if you have a seed to upload it online. It's really recommended to just write it down and put it somewhere in a safe. If you do want to upload online, maybe just encrypt the document or something when you upload it online. But I wouldn't bother doing that. The next thing is it's susceptible to malware. So if malware got on your machine, someone could hijack it and make it send coins wherever. And also it requires a little more technical knowledge to operate versus an online exchange. I mean, not exchange, but an online wallet, a little bit easier to do. Then you also have paper wallets. This is even more secure, because if you have a paper wallet, that's what a paper wallet looks like up there. You can just store that in a safe. You don't need the internet at all or a computer at all to store it. Now to spend it, of course you do. And the QR code right there, you could if you're trying to give somebody Bitcoin, you could let them scan your QR code instead of that long wallet address, which I'm going to show you what a wallet address looks like. And you have the most control over your wallet with these type of paper wallets. But it could get the cons are it could get physically damaged over time. If you make multiple copies of the wallet, someone can steal one of them and redeem them. And again, they can get physically stolen. And it does require extensive technical knowledge to make your Bitcoin into a paper wallet. And if it's lost, of course, it's gone forever. You can't recover it. So that's kind of a downside about that one. Then you also have hardware wallets, which that's a picture of a hardware wallet. That's a treasure wallet. That one is the most secure of any wallet. You can also perform backups on it as well. And when you plug that in, it's a two-factor authentication, meaning that when you plug it in, it requires a password and it requires the device to be able to log in. And there's pretty much almost zero risk from a malware attack, because if you try to send Bitcoin on the device, it will physically ask you to press a button to send it. So even if the malware came on there, you'd have to hit send. The downside of it is it's very costly. One of those is like, well, I'm only familiar with dollars. One of those is like $90. I think it's like 300 some real, something like that. And you have to physically take care of them. If it messes up physically, you can't use it. And they can be lost because they're very small. And again, these come with the seed as well. So if you lose the seed, you can't recover your coins. If you lose that, and you lose the seed. So the same like with a desktop wallet. So for spending and receiving coins, to receive a coin, you have to have a wallet address. And in the bottom on there, that's the example of a wallet address. There's a QR code and a very, if you look, I guess my mouse isn't showing, but there's a very, very long set of characters down there. That's the wallet address. That's the wallet address, yes. Let's see here. You can have multiple wallet addresses to one wallet. And the reason why you would have multiple wallet addresses to one wallet is when you send Bitcoin, anybody can see that transaction. If I send money to you, transaction ID appears. I can go and put that in a blockchain scanner, like blockchain.info with one, and I can see that money got sent from one wallet to another wallet. So normally most wallets will generate a new wallet ID or a new wallet ID per transaction. That way, only one wallet address is available for one transaction, and you can't be.
So like Coinbase does that. Like when I started, Coinbase had one static address, so I was used to that. I'll put that in any platform that I use to get money out of. Then they changed to that. They keep that one static address in the background. They give you a bunch of different ones every time you hit send receive. It gives you a different address. So, like, if you don't know that going in, you're like, whoa, what's going on? Why is my address changing? And then, like, it gets confusing, but now I understand why they do it. Because the point of cryptocurrencies is it's anonymous. You can buy, so I shouldn't know who you are from buying something from you. As long as I get my product, I'm good. So with that different address, so you can like just trace it back to that one person. When they change up addresses, like they're not going to trace it back.
Correct. It's like they're only that one transaction. And remember, if I know your wallet address, I can actually put that into the blockchain, and it will tell me how much money you've received and how much is in your wallet. So that's another reason why it's multiple addresses. So let's say you had a YouTube channel and you said, hey, send any donations to this wallet address. You could literally take that wallet address and see how much money that person received. Versus if they switched up the wallet address, you wouldn't know. And again, it's difficult to find out whose wallet address that is, but again, you don't want to have all those transactions to one wallet address. So generally, how the way this works is one wallet address per transaction. So every time you hit receive is one wallet address. And again, like I said, each transaction that occurs has a corresponding blockchain transaction. Like I said, so again, every transaction you can go online and see the transaction. So, and again, that goes back to where I said multiple addresses are generated. So the blockchain, like I said, it facilitates secure online transactions from one wallet to another. It's decentralized. So the only way to shut down Bitcoin would be to go and shut down every individual miner in the world. That is not possible. But that's why that's why a lot of governments don't like it, because you can't stop it, because we could just set up a mining rig right here and we can support it. So you'd have to go around the whole world and shut down everything.
How can you obtain a Bitcoin from mining?
From mining, like basically when you mine, there's two ways. Number one is, remember I told you about the transaction payment?
Yeah.
If you go and you confirm a transaction on the blockchain, because the way it works is, if you send coin to someone, it has to be confirmed by typically 6 miners have to confirm that transaction. Okay, and the reason why that is because they want to prevent a double spend. So they don't want you to send coin to him and send coin to him and spend the same coin. So if I send you coin, there's a transaction made, I look on the blockchain will tell me how many miners have confirmed that transaction. Once 6 miners have confirmed, generally that's the rule of thumb, the transaction is finalized.
But from where do you get it?
Where do you get the Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Well, you can buy from someone else, or if new Bitcoins come into existence, miners will go and they do what's called mining, where they're trying to solve complex computational algorithms with a computer. So as they solve those puzzles, puzzles are referred to as a block. New Bitcoins come into existence. They're awarded Bitcoin.
And then it's like a total number of 21 million, if I'm right?
Yes.
That's the number of Bitcoins there is.
It's finite. Yes, it's
so
finite.
what happens once, that 21 million mark?
The Bitcoin could be split into portions. I could go out and buy $300 worth of Bitcoin. So as long as you can continue splitting it, it's not. What did it say? It's by 2150.
2150.
2150 is when the last one should be mined. So
2150.
Yeah.
Because every time a block is solved, it gets more difficult.
Correct.
And so every time that gets solved, but like if all of us in here are mining right now, each have a separate computer, we're mining into one pool. We solve our own block, which probably would take a while unless we have all that money to buy that ASIC stuff. Whichever one did the most work, that's who get the bigger portion of that Bitcoin. So like if I did 20% of the work, I get 20%. So it just splits it out like that. So that 20% is assigned its own value. And so I can sell off $300 worth of that one piece right there.
Correct. And so with that being said, you can mine by yourself. Back in the day, people mined separately. But as the computational difficulty rose, people got into mining pools. And again, if we all got in the mining pool, we all had our machines. If my machine was more powerful than yours, if we solve that block, I get whatever percent that I did, I get of that. And that's how new money comes into existence. Like the U.S. government, they just print money in existence for what they need. But this one, they've set this up to where too much Bitcoins wouldn't come out. So as more technology came out, the difficulty just arises to ensure that not too many coins go out and the currency doesn't just drop.
There's a movie called Banking on Bitcoin where they show it from its inception, the reason that they talk to everybody except for Satoshi, who was the mastermind, if you say, behind Bitcoin. They tell their philosophies in creating Bitcoin, why they did it, and everything like that. And they also show the government's effort to stop it. And they show how they act. And right now, before I checked earlier, it was $5,700 and change. So they failed at stopping it. But banking on Bitcoin, if you have 45 minutes of time, watch that.
Yeah. And again, it's too difficult to stop because it's decentralized.
Right.
Anybody can mine.
Let me expound on his question. So let's assume, hypothetically speaking, that you have a piece of land, you have a plot, and you have miners or mining machines, right? And you start mining.
Mm-hmm.
And I would assume that the machines have to be running 24/7.
Correct.
In order for you to mine what they call Bitcoins.
That would be the most efficient.
Right. So I guess his question was, so how are you awarded that Bitcoin? Do you have to have a software? Do you have to have a...
Yeah, you get a software, and there's different
Do you have
types
to
of
have a
software.
wallet for that too?
When you in the software, you put your wallet to where those blocks are going to be awarded to. So,
So like, I don't know if you actually did hardware mining. I actually did it. So when you set up, you got to, like, I was into my.Bitcoin pool, Bitcoin pool, which was one of the popular ones when I was doing it. So when you set that up, you just type it. It's a little string of characters. So you put your worker name, worker password, the pool you're in, and your wallet address.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you put, and then you put. There's online calculators, so you can tell how much hash power you have. So you put down your hash power. So, and you just do that for every worker you have, for all the wallet addresses you have in there. So once that block is solved, it sends everything to that wallet address you have in there every time.
Okay.
right, and that's just done to make sure again that too many Bitcoin are not released. You know. And the blockchain works as a public ledger, which anyone can view, and I kind of went over that earlier, but anybody can view any transaction you do. Wallet transactions are anonymous, so you can only see the wallet addresses. But again, you still want to make sure that you have a new wallet address for every transaction. But because someone could somehow, I don't know how they'd figure out the wallet address belongs to you, but if for example, let's say the government looked and they saw, oh, this one wallet address received $1 million of Bitcoin, you know, they could potentially investigate that. So a little better to just kind of receive them in the different wallets. And again, I went over this, but a Bitcoin transaction is considered complete after 6 miners confirm the transaction. So now what is mining? I kind of went over this, but Bitcoin mining is the process in which transactions are verified and added to the public ledger.
Take a break so you can smoke.
Oh, did you take a break? Is it good?
Smoke.
I mean, we could. Yeah, I'll step outside.
Okay, no problem. We'll take a break. You know, I was on the roll.
How does a blockchain look like? Is it like numbers or is
It's
it?
a bunch of numbers, hexadecimal numbers. You can't really just show you the blockchain. It's like looking at the matrix.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of ones.
There's a lot going on. It's like looking at the stock trade almost, and it's just.
Yeah. Remember when Neo realized he became the one and he seen all those.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So at the moment it's 12.5 Bitcoins per block, correct?
I'm sorry?
You mine a block every 10 minutes or so.
No.
No. That depends on the difficulty.
Well, yeah, the difficulty of 1T is 12.5 Bitcoins per block.
What?
He said this because the last block was 25 and then it recently halved to 12.5. And they say that the next halving is expected around 2020, 2021. And this will go to 6.25.
Oh, you're talking about the entire block itself?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you was talking about mining one Bitcoin.
No.
We're talking about the block, yeah.
If I could mine in 12 minutes,
Yeah, you'd be rich if you mined it every 12 minutes.
I'm talking about, yeah, the block itself.
Yeah, the block itself, correct. So, but we'll just chill here for a minute.
How big is the block? Like, and I mean, in terms of MBs or GBs, or how much data is it? Like,
Well, again, that's dependent on the difficulty.
Yeah, it
Like,
changes every time.
it changes.
currently, like right now, let's say.
I haven't even looked into mining because, like I said, it's not
It's not
profitable
where I'm
for me.
from.
But you got an internet connection on there?
Yeah.
Go to Coin Wars and just click on Wars with a Z. So
problem.
they'll actually show what the difficulty is.
Okay.
Go to the one that has
Mining
Bitcoin,
problem?
Yeah, mining calculator for Bitcoin.
Yeah. All right.
So click on Bitcoin.
Let me see here.
Bitcoin Cash.
BTC. Yeah. Oh, dang. No problem.
So
All right.
right there is your difficulty.
And that.
right now.
All right.
Yeah. the
So
block
that's our
reward is
difficulty.
2.5.
That's your difficulty right now. And
Yeah.
So that's a block reward and everything right here. So this, if you're looking into mining, this is the site you want to go to.
So this-
it'll tell you which one is how profitable it would be.
Yeah.
So in here, like they got like what your average hash rate would be, but you could depend on the graphics card you got in there, that will change. The amount of power that you're using, pool fee. So if you're looking at a pool fee is probably about between 1 and 1.5% that they want, so they can pay their miners out. And then the hardware costs, because it's going to be expensive.
Yes.
It's on eBay right now. A cheap one is about $5,500. That's cheap. So and what you pay for power. So right then you hit calculate, it will tell you like how long it's going to take you to be profitable. That's if you want to do mining. So this works for cloud mining as well as hardware mining. So with cloud mining, obviously, whatever their pool fee is, and you'll put 0 for the hardware costs and 0 for electricity, because you're not paying for either one of those.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll just wait for those guys to get back, and we'll keep moving here. Oh no, bro. Hey, I've never mined before, so that's great that you put that
I
piece
started
in.
cryptocurrency mining, so and like I said, like I try as hard as possible not to store anything in the online exchange, because I started mining back in 2012 when the Bitcoin difficulty wasn't that high. I used an online exchange called BTC-E. They were the biggest one at the time. So that's what I was using to store my Bitcoin and Litecoin on when I was mining. So when I stopped mining, because when I left here I went to Germany, so the power there was more expensive, so I stopped mining. I had at that time about 4 Bitcoin and about 46 Litecoin sitting in that online wallet. When I got back into it, they asked me to verify my identity and everything, like copy the passport, IDs, everything, which is normal. And they said, "Oh, we don't work with Americans." They stopped working with Americans, so I lost all of that. So if I had something like an Exodus wallet or a Trezor or a Ledger or anything like that, I would have had my money still. But being that it's on there, I can't get it back. So that site just made that money. So that's why I like hardware wallets or online wallets more than anything. Anything that you can control your money that's where it's supposed to be.
I agree. We were explaining to him the mining difficulty and the profitability of it. So this is coinwars.com is a site you can go on. It kind of tells you your mining hash rate.
What's the meaning of hash rate?
So your graphics cards, like the more powerful one, like if you go, like if you play games and you look for one with the most RAM in it. So like 3-4 gig, what I don't play.
Like a 1080T.
Yeah, 1080T right now is what 10.
I think it's about 8.
About 8 megs of RAM in there. So what miners do, they take that graphics power and they overclock it and turn it into a hash rate. So a 1080T, if I remember correctly, is maybe about 1.3 mega hash per second. So that means how fast is I'm going to try to computate these things, like try to computate everything. Yeah. So like but 1.3 mega hash right now is nothing, because those ASIC miners are doing 13.5 right now. Because there's some people in the States that I don't know how they got them, but they have them. They have them listed on eBay and they have them listed on Amazon. That's how I know those prices are like 10 grand. Because that 13.5 terahash, like that right there will mine you in about 72 hours, will mine you close to half a Bitcoin.
Really?
Yes. But
The last I checked, it was 2K.
I checked before I came here.
The difficulty changes.
Yeah.
I checked before I came here actually, because like I said, my birthday's on Monday, so I was joking and saying, "Hey, my birthday's coming up. Somebody get me this." Because it's 10 grand. So, but I mean, like if you could get one, like go for it. Because if you get one, get the power supplies. Is hook it network cable up to it, monitor just so you can program up your wallet, your worker ID, and the pool information, and just let it run. And and then every day you hear the coins hit because it hits once a day, or it hits once a day, or whenever whenever that block's finished. But like I said, in hardware mining, the competition is too great.
It is.
Because you're competing with, now China's trying to regulate it now. That's why you hear a lot of news in China about stopping miners. But all they're doing is going over to Japan. And Japan already promised them free power. So you guys come here, don't worry about electric bill. So, because they're going to get a cut on the back end of that anyway. Also, in South America, a lot of them are popping up using clean power. So they're using like solar or hydro.
Renewable energy.
Yep, and then in Iceland, the biggest one up there right now is Genesis Mining, one of the most popular ones online. They're in Iceland.
Right.
And they use clean power also. So, I mean, you mining by yourself or in a pool, you're competing with them. So if you just buy a contract from them, then you'll see it. So that's why I decided, I actually use two different cloud mining services. I use Genesis for Ethereum, and I just hold on to my Ethereum because the difficulty was low at the time, and I use USI Tech for Bitcoin. So on USI Tech, I make probably about $70, $80 a day in Bitcoin.
And I think Genesis is no longer accepting customers that want to mine in Bitcoin.
Because they don't have any contracts.
Right.
Because the difficulty is too high and they have to buy these. So once they buy any of these ant miners, then they'll open it back up. Because they already started taking prepayments for that. So and there's a guy I follow on Twitter every day. He's on like, hey, I have $80,000 to spend. When are you doing this thing? And they continue saying the last quarter, so they're coming up right now. They should be doing it here starting November, December time frame. So like, I mean, I still get what I've been doing since I mined Ethereum on Genesis. I just use that because Genesis had a converter on there where whatever you mine in one currency, they could exchange it for a different currency. So since Ethereum is not really doing a lot right now, it's just going between 260 and 300. I exchange it for Bitcoin. So yeah, I don't get as much, but I still get Bitcoin. So like if they exchange it and give me $20 worth of Bitcoin, by the time it hits the wallet, that's already worth $25 because the price of Bitcoin is just going up. So.
But this is a calculator you can kind of use that tells you.
Right.
So it's going to show here. Like there's some ant miners that do like a terabyte hash.
Right.
But as you see, that's not profitable.
There's some that do the 13.5.
There's some.
I think
Now the 13.5. You see, you're making $292 a month. How much is the 13.5?
10 grand.
10 grand. So look at the profit. Let's say we had no electricity costs. Let's just say we put this to zero. We'd be making $400 a month. So think about that. We're trying to recover a 10 grand. And this is assuming the difficulty doesn't get higher. So that's why I was trying to say that mining is not really, it doesn't seem to be profitable, especially when they overcharge for the ASIC miners and whatnot. So this is.
Like I said, now I'm sure those ASIC miners are cheaper in China, but like I said, if you're outside of China trying to buy them, that's where that 10.
So if you were able to go to China, get that machine, bring it back to Qatar, that would be like a home run.
Depending on the price. If it's less than that, if it's going to run me less than that,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to run me less than $4 grand in yes.
Because you gotta think you're only making $404 right now,
Like
as it is.
Like I said, I know flight attendants, but trying to explain to them what to get when they get there, it's a pain. So.
And there's many different versions of these miners, so they could go there and get the wrong thing. You know.
The S9 is the newest one, and like the newest one that came out last month, and they're already putting out the S10 next month because the difficulty changes so fast.
Correct. So even if you bought this and said, all right, I'm gonna get $404 a month, essentially the difficulty could change next month. This could only yield you $300 next month, $200 the month after. So you can come right up here, man. It's fine, no problem. So that's why I don't know. If you were to mine, I would honestly say the best currency to mine, and I mean, I asked your opinion, but I would say Ethereum, because with Ethereum is ASIC resistant. Now, again, with Ethereum, a machine of like 250 hash, now that would probably cost you around $7,000 or so.
Yeah.
But it would,
You can look on eBay and get a pre-built rig.
yeah, pre-built.
Probably about $2,500 for just Ethereum.
How much mining hash would you think a $2,500 rig would get you?
Well, 2.4, so 2.5.
Yeah.
So that's about right.
That's about right.
Let's
So
take out the power.
yeah, so if you took out the power, the most you're looking at is $344. So again, mining is kind of
There's way too much competition.
way
out
too
there for
much.
mining.
Yeah. So we'll continue here. Okay. Oh, okay. Get back there. Let's get back. I think we stopped here. I think we went over that. Yeah. All right. Again, we already explained mining is how new coins are released, essentially. And I explained that it involves compiling recent transactions into blocks and trying to solve computationally difficult puzzles. And then you get a block reward. And again, whichever node solves it claims the block reward. And this also offers an incentive for people to mine. And again, mining difficulty changes over time, as we explained. So you have to use a mining calculator to kind of know where you're at, but you can buy a great rig right now and it may only last you 1 or 2 months and it just might not be so profitable. So, and mining equipment is very expensive. And it's very difficult to even get it, the equipment. Like NVIDIA and AT, I think it's a company, AMD. AMD, they own ATI now. Since people started moving to graphics cards, it's almost impossible. Well, not impossible. You can get the graphics cards, but a lot of retailers will limit you to like three graphics cards. Normally, to get a decent hash rate, if you're doing graphics cards, you need like 7 or 8 of those cards. So it can be.
Yeah, when you guys get a chance, go on eBay and just type in cryptocurrency mining rig.
Yeah, we can actually do that right now. Kind of give you an idea. Here.
So when I built mine, I spent about $3,500 on it because I built it myself. It's still an amazing computer, but if I go to try to resell it as a mining rig, I'll probably get $200 for it.
Yeah. Like here's a mining rig here. It has 335 mining hash rate. So he's telling you what he has here, all these different graphics cards. So he has 4 GTX 1060s. So from here, if you wanted to know if this would be profitable, you can go look at this and say, okay, that's 335 Ethereum. So we can go back to that. Hold on.
This is the first one. And then you go back to yours. Right?
Yeah. So you can just type this in. There we go. And we go 335. So that's going to pay us, and this is assuming you have no power cost. That's going to pay us $363. So the rig itself,
It's 3,500.
well, 35. That's the starting bid. So we don't even know what that's going to end at. It's going to end at 5,000 or what have you. But that's kind of how you would come to your conclusion if it's going to be profitable for you or not. And again, since it's all varying, since it's all variables, you don't know. You could be getting 463 this month. Next month, you could be getting 300. So let me go back to here. Let's get back there again. Okay, the reason why miners are important is they ensure that the Bitcoin network will never be shut down. Because as long as these rewards are being granted and as long as Bitcoin is worth money, You can't shut it down because you'd have to physically go to everybody who has a mining rig and shut them down. And it's spread across the world, so that's pretty difficult. And they also ensure that transactions are facilitated in a timely manner. When that Bitcoin, remember I told you about Bitcoin Cash when that whole schism happened? When that happened, it resulted in the blockchain was very slow due to the fact that a lot of miners moved all their mining resources over to Bitcoin Cash. So when you try to send money, it was very slow. So that's another thing to keep in mind. And again, remember, they also ensure transactions cannot be replayed and double spent. So remember with the 6 confirmations, if there's 6 confirmations by the miners, that means that money is confirmed. It can't be spent again. So they also help create new Bitcoins by solving the complex algorithms like we explained earlier. Now, the ways you can buy Bitcoin, one way is through an exchange. There's Kraken, there's GDX, there's GitHub. And what was the name of the one you said in Qatar here that they could use?
CEX.io.
Okay. You can go on those, upload money. It looks like the stock exchange kind of, and you can put in a bid to buy the coin at the going rate, and you can purchase it from there. It is possible to purchase through Bitcoin through a credit card, but you're going to have a very low limit, maybe like $500 or so. And again, very high fees. But it is instant. So if you're just trying to buy a little bit of coin just to get in the game, that's good. But if you want to buy like a coin or 2 or 3 coins, like $10,000 worth, that's not the way you want to go. And the reason they do that is, since remember I told you when you send coin, it's irreversible. So if somebody tried to dispute the charge and all that stuff, they have no recourse. So they're going to charge you very high fees to make up for that risk they're taking. You can also purchase some from someone you know locally. There's a site called localbitcoins.com, but I will warn you, that site, people overcharge. Normally you're going to pay at least $300-400 more than what the going rate is.
Here in Qatar, I think there's about, last I checked, there was like 10 people. And they're like the highest one I've seen on there was about 60% higher.
Yeah, they overcharge.
Yeah.
Here, I'll show you the site real quick.
60%.
Yeah, they overcharge.
Because anybody in Qatar before this blockade, when they made Bitcoin transactions, they used the exchange in Dubai. And since the blockade, that stopped. So everybody here with Bitcoin, since CEX takes a long time to get verified, and somebody want Bitcoin now, I mean, they pretty much got you.
Yeah.
Okay, you buy it here or you don't.
So essentially, I'll show you here. For Qatar Real, let's see if I can find that here. Okay, so for Qatar Real, that's how much the going rate should be right now. Okay, but if you want, but look at how much these guys are selling it for. So you're going to be
26.
correct. So they're going to overcharge you, and that's unfortunate. So some of these guys they're way overcharging, and this is standard practice here. So okay, let me get back to that here. Okay. You can purchase, like I said, offline on local Bitcoins as well. You can, now investing, if you want to invest, you can purchase and hold it. So back in 2000, this year, in July 2017, I think July 19th, Bitcoin was worth $1,900. And I think I have a typo there, but it was worth now it's worth over 5,000 a coin. It's almost worth 6,000 now. It goes up and down, but so if you would have bought Bitcoin back in July, you would have
Made a nice
hunk of profit. Correct.
Right there.
Another thing you can do is purchase into coin ICOs. An ICO is like, remember when I told you anybody can make a coin. Like most of the algorithms are out there, so you could go take the Ethereum algorithm and just go make a new coin with that. So there's many different types of ICOs. Some are lending ICOs. Some have all sorts of ideas. There's ones for sports betting. There's ones for gaming, marijuana. Anybody can make a coin.
One now that Vegas just started, one of the biggest strip clubs in Vegas just started taking Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it's completely anonymous who comes in and goes out. But let's stick on ICOs for a little bit. Right
I think
now,
Floyd Mayweather was one of the investors.
And I bought some of that too. And Paragon Coin, which is ICO for marijuana purchases. Not purchasing, but marijuana banking. Because in the states now, like Colorado, if I want to go open a dispensary, a bank won't give me money. So I either have to come in with that $250 cash, or $250,000 cash, or I can have it in cryptocurrency. So I can get the money that way. But I bought mid-September, I bought into one ICO called Regal Coin. They're a lending platform. I bought into, my rule with ICOs, I don't spend more than $100 on it. So no matter how good that thing's gonna do, that's just my rule. You can spend more than what you can spend what you want. But I bought that at 85 cents a coin. Right now, Regal is sitting at $80 a coin. I already pulled out $5 grand from there. On Monday, we'll pull out another $5 just based off that $100 investment. So like, if you could find something and get in, like lending platforms are doing great right now. Because he'll get more into with the investing in Bitcoin. Lending platforms are where it's at right now.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted you guys to join that Telegram group, because even though this is however often we do these meetings, so much can happen in like 2 weeks. So some of these ICOs may only have a window of like 2 weeks to join, and I don't want anybody to miss out on that. So you know.
And if you guys want, I could post them in there, because there's a lot of them I get in maybe 2-3 days before they get popular. So, and that's what you want, because they do it in phases. So there's one right now called Hydro Coin, where they're aiming to be the biggest green mining company. Right now they're 35 cents a coin. They're not even that popular yet. Now I noticed yesterday a couple of the big YouTubers already picked them up. So that's all these things take, is a YouTuber to pick them up and then explode.
Correct. So it's almost like penny stocks, if you want to think of it that way. But there's hundreds of these things that come out. You just, but remember, to buy into those, you have to have coin. So you can't go there with a card or with USD. You have to have some type of coin, either Ethereum or Bitcoin. Most of them take one or the other.
Some of them take both.
Some of them take both, yeah. So that's always something to think about. There's low yield investment programs like BitConnect. I don't know if you've heard of that, but essentially with he probably explained better about BitConnect, because I don't use it yet.
But with BitConnect, it's the reason why, BitConnect is the reason why lending platforms are doing so good with their ICO, because they were the first ones. So what they pretty much, you come in with Bitcoin, they have you buy their token, and you pull up Coin Market Cap, they're number 8 right now. And I bought into that at $25. It's worth $212 last I checked. So, and that's from back in July. So that's not a bad rise right there. But what they do is, with BitConnect, it's pretty much a variable interest rate, like a daily interest rate. So it's never going to be negative. They have some 0% days when they restart their trading bot. So all they do is you loan tokens to the trading bot and $100 increments. So you loan them the trading bot, they go out in the market, they trade all these cryptocurrencies, and at the end of that day or your 24-hour period, they give you whatever that daily interest rate is. So whether it's 1%, 2%, what have you, that's what you make on your money. And that you do that every day. Now, if you take that same $100 and put it in the bank, it probably won't let you open an account with just $100 sitting in it, because just the fees alone is going to kill that $100. So that's why I like platforms like BitConnect, because I can put it in there, and the 30-day average right now is 0.9% for whatever you have in there. So with BitConnect, last night I made $110 because the interest rate was 1.83. So yeah, just yesterday alone, I made $110. Just let my money sit there. And that one's not maximized. It will be maximized by the end of November because I have 3 ICOs that's hitting the market. I see myself making 15 grand from them. And that's just conservative. So it will be maximized, but there's a guy at work. He has 30,000 and he makes 3,000 a week, just from that one platform.
Oh wow!
So
I mean, pretty much what we're saying is the mining days are kind of over, and now it's kind of evolved to where lending and these types of platforms are really where you want to go to, versus buying these mining rigs now. You know. So with that being said, BitConnect is kind of a low risk. Now there's high yield risk sites, which are kind of like more aggressive. One of them is Laser Online, and another one's BitPetite. That's one that I'm in. And with these high risk, I mean, you could go to the site and the site could be shut down. Like, I mean, you live in day to day. But I'll give you an example. Laser Online, I invested $750. And I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with Qatar Real, so I have to speak in dollars. Currently now, I have $14,000 in my account, but I'm able to, they pay me, they say 12%, but it's not a true 12%. It's more like 3.66%. There's a little details into that, but I don't want to get too in depth with it. But essentially with my account, I make about $1,500 a day. So I would draw $500 each day, and I reinvest the rest. So perpetually, I make $2,500 a week using that website. But again, it's very high risk. So it's been around like 120 days. There's other sites like it, but any day it could be closed down. So
I also use Laser, but like I use them when they like anything like that, like anything high risk, because you get not scared, but you get leery. I put $300 in there, and out of that $300, doing the strategy that he actually has, I've made $1,400 off that $300. So when I leave here tonight, I'm probably gonna put another grand in there just to watch it.
Yeah. So
I mean, there's a lot, like you said, the mining days are, unless you can compete with a data center full of miners, they're over. It's investing now.
it is. I agree. You can also Bitcoin trade. That's where you buy Bitcoin at a low, sell at a high. Like, for example, about 2 weeks ago, Bitcoin went down to $3,000.
When Jamie Dimon said Bitcoin is a fraud.
Yeah, the CEO of Chase Bank Manhattan said it was a fraud. It went down to $3,000. It's backed up. Correct. It's backed up to almost 6,000.
Right.
So essentially, if you would have bought during that low, you could have sold it at a high.
I bought right there. I bought the whole Bitcoin at $3 grand right there. So because I mean, like I said, I got more faith in Bitcoin than I do the banks.
Okay.
So I bought it right there, and then not even a week later, it was touching $6 grand.
Correct. So someone could, I wouldn't call it day trading because it's not as quick of trades, but somebody can literally just do that all day. You can also make a Bitcoin bot, which will perform the trades for you. But again, you have to program the bot. It does require like a lot more.
So that's what these lending platforms do. They actually have trading bots that go out there and make these split-second decisions. But by the time something hits its limit, so that's another reason why trading platforms are so profitable. Because like something that would take me like, oh, should I make that trade? Should I not? That robot already knows. Yes, I'm doing that trade. Boom, gone. I just lost out. The robot made. So.
And you don't have to sit at the computer all day, as well. Because some people can't do that. So, but that's pretty much the end of this segment here. I would give the basic because I don't want to get too. I mean, we can go in depth about high yield sites. We can have a whole hour about any of the.
If you don't mind me asking, then how did you get involved in crypto?
I'm a network engineer, so what you're gonna find out with crypto, a lot of IT people know about it because because it's our field, and if you stay up on your profession, you're gonna run across something cryptocurrency. Oh, what's this? But like I said, I found out about this in 2006, and when it was $6.08 a coin, and I was fresh off a divorce, so the only thing I was concentrating on is partying. So I was like, I'll get back to it. Never did. 2008, when I look at it, it's $1,200 a coin. So that's when I got back into the mining of it. And then I was mining for a couple years, and then I went to Germany. Power's too expensive, so I stopped mining, and just like out of sight, out of mind. So then I came back like earlier this year. The guy I worked with, he was like, "You ever heard of Bitcoin?" I'm like, "Yeah." Hold on, let me pull up my account. My account's still there. I can see it, but I can't touch it. So I showed him. He was like, and at that time, it was right under $2,000. So I was like, let me go and let's say I went back to look at it the way I know about it was mining. So I looked into buying a mining rig. It was too expensive, so I looked into cloud mining. So that's why I got the Genesis and I got the USI. And I'm like, well, now I'm making this. How can I make this work for me? And then I hopped on YouTube and ran across BitConnect. I watched it for about 30 days. Watch how the trading bot. Well, they don't show you a trading bot, but there's guys on YouTube that show their account every day. Like, hey, this is how much I made today, like that. So took a leap of faith, put $150 in, and watched it ride since then. And then I got and if you guys get into any of these, this Telegram group is good. If you run across a platform and a few words to look out for, like he says, if something says they'll pay you forever, it's gonna last 30 days. Yeah. That's it. That's there forever. And if you see stuff with, we'll pay you 10% a day, stay away from it. Like I don't know if he was involved, but I got involved. There's a company called Control Finance.
Yeah.
Amazing company. You look at it from the outside, it looks amazing. Like everything they said they would do, they were doing. Like that site, I was able to pull out 2 months work, but I had already put $10,000 in. But those 2 months, like 1 month I pulled out $3,000. Next month I pulled out right about 4,000 and change. I had friends come in with me, joining everything like that, and then one day, poof.
Yeah, it disappeared. Now, and I could have been in his situation. I just happened to pick another site. And, I mean, there was nothing but just blind faith. Yeah. And the site I invested in just happened to stay up. But that is
Laser.
Laser, yeah.
I was looking at Laser and Control Finance at the same time. I was like, Laser's going to disappear. Control Finance. I mean, like they weren't Laser. Control Finance was paying between 1 and 1.5% a day, which is the range you want to stay in to be profitable. So, and then like they were responsive. You name it for a good company, they were doing it. And then they just vanished. But the good thing that came out of that is the research we do now. When a new company pop online, they say we're going to do this. The level of research we do on that company, like they can't survive if they're a scam site.
No.
So like I said, there's a couple sites that came online. The community just shot them down. Like, no, you're a scam. This is why. And then they just vanished.
And we're talking about high yield sites.
Yeah,
when we're talking about that, not like the lending coins.
Like lending coins is way too much money for them to just disappear.
Correct.
Like BitConnect itself, I'm in BitConnect. BitConnect makes right now over $100 million a day just holding their coin, not doing anything with it, just holding on to it. So there's too much money for them just to leave. So like with the ICOs, that's what I get involved with. A lot of lending platforms. I think in January we'll start looking into the gambling coins also, just to see how they play out. And like I said, any one of them I just put like $100 worth in there, because I could go out right now and spend $100 on That's what turned me off about Laser.
Yeah, this is Laser site. It's like music. It's like disco music and all that stuff. But just to show you, I can show you my account real quick. Let's see here. Oh, dang. Put in the wrong password. Oh, we got it. All right. Okay, so like with my account here, they got this music, man. It's kind of annoying, but hold on, let me pause this. Okay, let me expand this some. So like I said, here with mine, this is how much money I have in my active investment, and this is my balance. This is what I can withdraw. I've already done my withdrawal for today. But let me show you the history of mine here. So with withdrawals, I've withdrawn all of this right here. Let me zoom in some more. This is off of $750. I withdrew $253 there, $252, $250, $222, $120, $426, $490, $480, $500 here, $500, $149, $500, $500, $500, $500, $500, and now every day I just pull $500 every day. So until this closes, that's my plan. But I got in very early. Like I said, I say a prayer every time I every time I log onto the site, because it could disappear anytime. But so far it's paying. So and also with me, since I got in so early, when I started there was no videos on YouTube or anything. So I made my own videos on YouTube, and now I have like 236 referrals. I have 2,000 something dollars worth of referral money. So I can call it a bit of luck, but this platform, as far as high yield, to me has been one of the best ones. Some other things about it is they have a thing here called a credit score right here, and if you start out, you can only pull $500 a day, and you have to wait up to 48 business hours. Right now I'm here where I can pull 5,000 a day, and I only have to wait 12 hours to withdraw. But most people never get to that amount of points because you need a bunch of referrals and all that. So the reason they do that is to prevent somebody from just putting in a bunch of money and being able to withdraw a bunch of money. So
it keeps the site profitable, because I don't know how to get to it from here, but you can go in there and you can see there.
Right here, I'm about to show that right now.
That right here, this will be like when I dug into the site and decided to put more money into it, is because of this.
Correct.
Any of your high yielding sites, like they pay out 7 days a week, and eventually the amount of money they take in and they pay out will go. That's when they usually vanish. So this site right here, they only pay out Monday through Friday.
Correct.
And when they pay out, and you can look at it right there, what they take in is the blue and what they pay out is red.
Yeah,
So when they have that, like, man, I have to wait, like he has to wait 12 hours now, but if I go pull out money, I have to wait 24 hours. Like, man, I gotta wait 24 hours. They're still investing that money. They're still making money off of that money. And then when it's time to pay you, then they pay you.
Yeah, crypto doesn't stop trading on Saturday, Sunday. So see these 2 Saturday, Sunday days here? They got all this money and they didn't have to pay anything out. So essentially what we're looking at here is they got $2.2 million and they only paid out $647,000. And if you look, and so forth, you see how it's almost like double or triple. You scroll up. This is how much.
53 million.
Correct.
Paid out 13 million.
They've only paid out 13 million. So when I invested in it, that's what I was looking for. I was kind of like, okay, they're giving me all these metrics here. And if someone wants to doubt the metrics, remember how I told you about blockchain? They put on here all the blockchain transactions that everybody has done as a way to verify it. All the transactions are here and can be verified. So with that being said, they taken in 53 million, paid out 13 million. So it seems like the formula is working. A lot of people were turned off by the fact that they had withdrawal limits, because a lot of sites will let you put in as much and withdraw as much as you wanted. Yeah. But with this site, when I saw that they had the withdrawal limits, that's when I was thinking, okay, this is much more stable than the other platforms.
That, and you want them to be making money somewhere else also.
Right.
On that note, can't you withdraw all your funds?
No. Because
assuming you lost interest in the trading, so does it imply you can't withdraw your funds?
Does it? What do you mean by that?
No more willing to continue with the trading.
Well, here's the thing. When I put the money in, it takes 12 days for the money to mature. So right here, see up here, it says days, matures in 18 days. So here's a counter here and the counter is pretty much saying this particular amount of money is going to drop down here into the available balance. I can't do anything. I can only withdraw this amount of money here, $500. I can't withdraw this. That's the money that's currently trading. I can't withdraw that. So essentially I have to wait for the money to go in my active balance to withdraw it. So if I wanted to drain this account out to zero, I would have to wait over the course of 18 days. And also, if I had a withdrawal limit of $500, that's the most I could pull out each day.
Okay, other
So-
ones are active.
I'm sorry?
Other ones that are non-withdrawable are active.
Well, the ones that are no longer, the ones that are in your this is your regular balance. The ones that are in your available balance, you can withdraw right now. What's up here, you cannot withdraw until it matures.
They're on trade. This one 16,000.
For this whole 16,000 to mature, I have to wait 18 days.
Okay.
So if I wanted to drain this account, it would take me.
Now, right here at this platform, you trade by yourself, or you invest?
No, I just put the money
trade?
in, they trade, or whatever they're doing, they do,
Now,
and then they pay me.
At the maturity period of your capital, at what percent you get as a profit?
It's pretty much 3.66%.
Sorry?
3.66%.
Instead of 12%.
It's not 12 because they start you at zero.
Yeah, they advertise 12%, but with anything like that, like they say your total amount is going to be 12% or 144% over the 12-day period. That first 100% don't count that because that's your principal.
Correct.
So you don't count what you put in. You just count that 44%, which brings down to about 3.6% a day.
Correct. So essentially, if you put in $1,000, they will pay you back
What's the
$1,400.
minimum that you can put?
The minimum you put is $5, but if you put in $1,000, at the end of 12 days, they pay you back $1,440
In 12 days?
in 12 days. So you've only made 12 business days. So you don't get paid. You don't get that. So essentially, they're paying you $120 a day for 12 days. That equals $1,440. So you could only withdraw that $120 once per day. So for you to drain out that $1,000 you put in would take you 12 business days. That's almost 2 weeks. So you can't just put a bunch of money in and pull it all out. And think about it. If you put in $10,000,
Some people right there just did that.
like there's people here. This guy put in $11,000. Everything is public, like as far as who puts it in.
Link right next to it and see it.
And see, remember I told you about blockchain transactions? I can click here,
So that's
and this is what the blockchain looks like. So see, there's been 48 confirmations. So this happened. This is a third-party independent site that is showing me the blockchain that happened. And this is one of the only sites I know that shows confirmations of what happened. So if I send someone money, I wait on here for 6 confirmations. This has 48. So it's been traded. And it tells you the Bitcoin amount there. But I say all that to say that with that being said, he put 11,000 in there. That's a new account. He can only withdraw 500 a day. So at $10,000, I think they're going to pay you $1,200 a day. That's how much you'll get back a day over 12 days.
On daily basis.
But he can only withdraw $500.
But you can only take out 500 a day depending on the credit
Exactly.
score.
Otherwise, you wait for maturity period.
Well, not necessarily maturity period. You either the most logical thing would be to reinvest the rest.
Yeah,
But
so-
each new reinvestment is treated as a new 12 days of reinvestment.
So you just might as well wait till you get
So-
a nice amount. and
correct.
invest that.
Correct. So that's kind of, but they do all that to ensure that the platform stays up. Whereas a lot of other sites,
They don't care.
they'll let you put in 10,000. They'll say they'll pay you back 30,000 in 30 days or something. Then in 30 days, if the site's still up, they'll let you pull out 30,000.
But that's the thing. And see, when you read those numbers, the reason why they're believable because cryptocurrency is that volatile. You can go in and you can make a lot of money.
Correct.
And that fast also. But you have to get in. Like if you guys would like if you guys get started, the more you get into it, and the more you get into these Facebook groups and they're talking about it, you'll see these platforms just pop online. Boom, day zero, 10% in 12 hours. Like if you're gonna get into them, that's when you get into it. And it's early, so you can get your money in and out. But after about a 9-day period, you want to stop messing with it because that's when you're getting ready to close up shop. But like when I started in there, I used to start with those little small ones just like that, get in, get out. Because there was a site, what was it? Miner hash or something like
Micro
that.
hash?
Micro hash.
Yeah.
Paying 10% a day. So I went in with $900, was making $90 a day. So by day 10, I already had my money. So everything else I was making off that was just pure profit. That's like disappeared on day 29. So was I upset? Yeah, because it's easy money I was just losing out on. So if you're gonna get into the hypes, like I don't consider legs on hype anymore because they've earned my trust. But if you're gonna get into those hypes, that's how you want to do it. You want to get in early, get out early, or as long as you get your principal back, then ride it. Like as long as you make your money back, just everything else you get is pure profit. So I mean, yeah, like I said, losing $90 a day, I was upset. But at the end of the day, I had no reason to be upset because I already made my money back.
And where do these transactions, like, where do they send you the money back? Is
In
it
your
like,
wallet.
That you'll put a
So
wallet address.
here,
in
I'll show you where I
in
put
your
my
Bitcoin
wallet.
Yeah.
So
Kind of whatever type.
yeah. So oh okay.
Because they take Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and Dash.
So you see here, I have a Litecoin wallet address. I have a Dash wallet. That's another currency. I have a Bitcoin Cash wallet, and I have a Bitcoin wallet. So let me show you back to my deposits again, because I have all the currencies that they offer. I have those all.
And you have to invest in those same currencies, right? You can't put in cash.
You
put in
can you can with these other ones. Like there's one called Perfect Money in Pesa. The thing about those is, well, I mean, American citizens can't sign up for those, but if you're not American, you can sign up for those, and that's straight cash. But with that being said,
Pay your straight cash.
pay your straight cash too. But we can't sign up. I mean, American citizens can't. I mean, if you're not an American citizen, I think you can sign up for that. But these are all the different ones. So see, they're giving me 12% on all of my different ones. So I have $43 I can withdraw on Ethereum. I have $39 I can withdraw on Bitcoin Cash. I have $497 that I can withdraw. And I can reinvest it, which before the night's up, I'm going to go reinvest this money back in. So
I think he posted in the Telegram group, but if he has, I'm sure he will. He has an investment strategy for this cycle, just like I have one for BitConnect, to like maximize the amount of time that you have in there to make as much money as you can. So
correct. So
he'll post it if he hasn't. Right?
yeah, I made a video on it. I have a YouTube channel. I'll share that in the group. I think I've posted it a few times, but it's kind of different strategies and stuff. I'm really only focused in this, but he's more so focused on BitConnect and BitConnect is still a good strategy. It's long term. I plan on taking money out of this and actually joining BitConnect to kind of go from high to low risk. Because like I said, any day we don't know, anything can happen and this site could stop. But the fact that BitConnect has a coin and they're a little more transparent, yeah, I think they'll be around a lot longer. You know.
BitConnect is considered like the gold standard of all investment platforms right now. So, like every investment platform that's coming out is literally copying with everything that BitConnect is doing. Like there's a couple that have copied it and then improved on it, which I like. So like there's one Western Coin they copied and improved in it, and there's one Hextra they copied and improved slightly. So I bought into those ICOs. November 1st is when they hit the open market. I'm going to sell Western Coin. I already decided that. I might hold on to Hextra because I think Hextra is going to go up more. I may actually do some loans on that platform. Like Regal, Monday they said off that $100 investment, I'll make $10,000 off $100. So I'll make the equivalent of like 2.8 Bitcoin off $100. So like, and they're all in the same group. We're all in the same Telegram group, right?
So how do you join this Telegram?
You have to download the Telegram group. I mean, the Telegram app.
Okay.
That's right. Telegram is an issue. I've tried several to get into it, but
You tried downloading it or what?
I tried several occasions to get into it, but it's not in
Is it blocked or something?
No, Telegram shouldn't be blocked. You can't download it off the App Store? Or?
Yeah, I downloaded the app.
Oh, you have the app?
Yeah, I downloaded the app yesterday.
And then you clicked on the link and it didn't let you join, or?
Yeah, joining. I clicked on joining,
anyone can add anybody to the
Sure,
group.
that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Sure.
And the reason I put that group together is because this thing is so fast paced. There's a new ICO that comes out, and it may you might want to join really quick. And the next meeting, I don't want to be like, hey guys, remember that? There's the ICO that happened 2 weeks ago during the time
I
we.
did the last meeting with Regal. I said, hey, Regal just popped online at 88 cents, but it's closed. I already made this money off of it.
Correct.
So,
So I couldn't get into Regal. Whereas if we have a group like this, people can say, hey, I'm about to get in this. And you know, people can stay up to
like I
date.
said, I could post them in there, like it's his group. I don't want to step on his.
No, that's fine.
I'll post them in there, like let you guys know which ones. But if I post it in there, I already put money in it. So I'm not gonna tell you guys invest in something I don't have any money in. So and I don't know what your investment strategies will be, but I know what ICOs. Because there's just like a stock, like an IPO. There's no guarantee it's gonna hit the market. But so that's why I put $100 in with $100. If it goes out and it does exactly what it's gonna say, make a quick $5 grand off of it. If you decide to sell everything, or if you decide to sell half and hold on to half, like what I did with Regal. I sold half and made $5 grand. Now I'm selling the other half on Monday, make another $5 grand off of it, or more. Because right now, like when I came here, it was at $70. Like tonight, right now it's at 80. So it's going up with anticipation. On Monday they're opening up their own exchange, and they're supposed to be announcing the fact that they're gonna have a debit card. So by Monday it may be at $100. I'll just double my money again. So
Correct. But the thing about ICOs is you just want to get in early. And a lot of ICOs, when you buy early, they'll actually give you bonus coins.
So that's what I did in the beginning. I sold all my bonus coins, so that was free money anyway.
And it'd be 10% bonus coins, 20% or whatever.
Like Hydro Coin right now, they're offering I think 15 to 20% bonus coin. Plus it's only 35 cents a coin.
Right.
Hextra, if you can get Hextra, good luck. Cause I got in early on that, and I'm glad because they sell out in 15 seconds every night.
Normally the ICO has a countdown. And then when that countdown is finished, then they go on sale. But a lot of people have these bots that'll go and buy the coins immediately. So they'll sell like 10 seconds, 15 seconds.
So like Hextra, for example, that's the hottest one right now. They only do a certain amount. So now what they're doing is limiting the amount of buys. Like you only buy 200, 300 like that. But like I was lucky, like I said, I got that at 80 cents. Right now it's at $1.10. It hasn't even hit the market yet. So, but every night when they go on sale, 15 seconds is done, and 15 seconds is a long time. So they may put out 400,000 coins. Those things are gone. So, like I said, when I get them, like I said, normally about 2-3 days before everybody else do. There's a group on WhatsApp that I'm in. They stay on it. They stay on everything, and then, like I said, before they even tell us about it, they already did 2-3 days worth of research, like digging it, looking at every developer, looking at everything about it. Like there's one that just came out that they're trying to capitalize on BitConnect again, called F-Connect, like trying to. Like,
I heard that.
Like they're using Ethereum, like they using Ethereum like the same way BitConnect uses Bitcoin. So they're just gonna loan it out the same way, but for Ethereum. Like there's some people on YouTube that put it out there because they're just trying to make money, that referral money quick. But like these guys in the group, they're like, wait, hold off on this. They start looking at developers. They found one of the developers on Twitter, and they send them a link like, hey, are you part of this? Can you tell us about it? He's like, yeah, I'm not part of that. I don't know why they pulled this picture off and said he is. One of the guys is actually, they use Karate Kid Mr. Miyagi. They use the actor who played his real name as one of the developers and everything. So you got to be careful with all that. That's another thing you got to be careful about. And they'll like, so like there's anything you're looking to invest in, like research. If you don't know how to research, hit me up in the group. Hit up the group. Both of us know how to research these programs, and we will. Like, I will not let you put your money in something that I know is a scam.
The same with these sites. Whenever I see Forever, like a site, let me see if I remember this one site. It's called Dream Hash. Someone posted it in the group.
I think Dream Hash is gone.
Oh, it's down already?
And either that
Ah,
or not,
there you go.
Yeah, they're not paying anymore.
This site's up for 16 days, but instant turn off is forever. I would never invest into something that said forever, because they're saying that you put in however much Bitcoin you put in, they're gonna pay you at 9% forever.
So
Don't do that.
But you see these numbers, they look amazing, right? 9% a day forever. Come on, man. How could you pass that up, right? And that's what they're banking on.
Correct. And many times they try to. Another thing you can also look at if you don't get in early is you want to see if the smallest plan they have, if they've stayed open longer than it takes for somebody to break even. Because like with Control Finance, they were open, I think it took like 2.5 months to break even.
Yeah.
They didn't even stay open 2 months. So nobody could break even.
I think most of the YouTubers took their videos down, but there was a guy on there that had over $100,000 sitting in Control Finance. And my goal is to try to get to 50,000, because with 50,000 you're going to make 22,500 a month. That's what they were saying they're going to pay out. So I mean, but I'm still hurt every time I think about that. But like, stay away from sites that stay forever. Like I said, if you can get in on day one, because they're not paying out anymore. It's only 16 days in. So if you get in on day one, you put $100 in that 9% daily or whatever, you'd already made your money back, and the rest of it would be profit.
And also notice, they're saying these people withdrew, right? Are we seeing any blockchain transactions to confirm that? Like, remember I showed you laser, I was able to click and it told me this is where, we don't even know if this happened.
So click on that payment proofs. Maybe they have something there.
Let's see what
I
they
can tell you another from today.
Oh yeah, they do have,
There's
I'm sorry. I
There's
apologize.
people complaining about, yeah, it's done, it's not paying out today.
Oh, transaction not found. These.
Transaction not found.
Oh, this transaction was found. Okay, so this site does do that. Huh? But no, that would be a part of research there, because some sites will say these things and not put it up there. But if you do have a blockchain transaction, I mean, I guess you can take that into the equation. But again, these numbers here they give you, if you don't see blockchain transactions with it, I wouldn't. But, and also, most sites don't stay open. Most high yield sites don't stay open more than 30 days. So this site potentially is at its midpoint.
And a lot of them, I don't know if any of you guys from the UK or not, but a lot of them usually register in the UK because you don't need a lot to set it up in the UK. And if you scroll down, most of them will show their certificate that they're a real registered company in the UK, what have you. It's usually the same damn thing. They all register at the same addresses, same phone numbers, everything. So there's some things that we can actually go look at to see. And that would be a lot of their selling points. Oh, we're a real registered company, right?
Oh, here we go.
Yep.
They have
always
this.
the same thing.
Yeah, I know that company address. There's these companies that you can get you can set up a company, and they'll just have one address, and they'll just lease you this address, and they just
that's what these guys do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like a grain of salt if you see that there.
Yeah.
So.
And that's in the city of London, so in the financial district, EC1.
Yeah, whereas this site, Laser, this one is actually registered in the U.S. In Delaware.
The bad thing about that address they're using in Delaware is full disclosure. It's the same one that Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton used for their businesses. So but the thing is, a lot of businesses use that address. Delaware is very friendly to banks and financial companies.
Yeah.
So a lot of people use that.
So essentially, they're saying you can go here to this website. And you could do an entity search here. This is what a lot of people will do. They'll say, okay, is this a real business? So when people put that, and if we type here, Oh, no, we got it right here. And see, here's Laser Online here. And it says it's registered in Delaware.
You should have phone numbers, addresses, everything on there.
And that's kind of one of the checks people do, you know, to ensure that it's real, I guess. Because sometimes they'll say they have a license and you can't find them at all. So, but I mean, again, at other meetups we can go. Like I said, all these topics we go in way depth on.
So how do we join the group?
If you go to the meetup, you have the meetup app.
Download the Meetup app.
You don't have to download. You can go to meetup.com,
Okay.
and I posted it in there. So you just click on the link.
Okay.
It was in like the conversation on the group.
I'll find it. Okay.
Someone had asked like how to. Yeah, just type a Bitcoin meetup. Yeah, that might be a little that record's different than mine. Mine was called Qatar Bitcoin meetup. I can pull it up here.
Can you start a broadcast, right? Or is it regular?
No, this one is a group. It's not a broadcast.
Just send him the page.
So just out of curiosity, so when you set up these types of meetings, what is it in it for you guys? Just sharing info.
Well,
I guess?
Educating people.
We're educating. You could come to us and tell us an ICO we don't know. You know? I mean,
It's educating. Like there's absolutely nothing at the end of the meeting.
yeah.
But in the States, a lot of people, because cryptocurrency is right now one of the most popular topics in the States.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of the meetup groups in the States are designed for, like, they may do a meetup for BitConnect. Like, for example, I may do a meetup and I just want people to discuss BitConnect. So, and from there, what I'm expecting is referrals out of that. But this, like, the only reason why we discuss our program is because he had investing on there. So I wanted to give you guys some examples of investing programs, but there was nothing in it for me today. Actually, I thought this was going to be a meeting like we had last week. And so like the meeting we had last week, like everybody at that meeting they already knew about cryptocurrencies, they already had money in cryptocurrencies, and we were discussing ICOs and different plans. Like if we want to do one, what would be our purpose in doing it? Like, and so I actually had an idea that I wanted to present to that group tonight. So that's why I'm here. But he told me today, like, yo, this is just gonna be getting people in to teach them about cryptocurrency. Like, cool, I'm down. Like, I'll come in, I'll help out. But there's absolutely nothing.
So how often do you guys meet? You can do it once a week?
Well, this meetup is my first one I've done in Doha. The meetup he's talking about was like amongst some colleagues of mine. So now I just figured, okay, just teach people how to do this. You guys may come back smarter than me on this. You know, I mean, y'all might be teaching the next time I'm here. So, it's always good to at least get people information because I only got into crypto July. I got into it. And I just went and learned a bunch. Just scoured the internet and got to an understanding.
And I've been in and out of it since 2008, around that time. 2008, 2009, I've been in and out of it. But like I said, I came in this stage expecting. I actually talked a lot more than I expected to.
Oh, that's cool. Hey, I'm happy you came. But this is my Telegram group here. So if you go to the meetup, if you click on that link, it'll just let you join. I need to change the name of the group because right now it's something crazy like that. But I can change it to where it's the actual regular name. But you go to that link and Telegram will say, do you want to join? You hit join and I let you join. So.
You guys have any other questions? I know you've been talking a lot.
What could be your professional advice for beginners to invest or to start trading? So,
Yeah, my advice would be to get into a lending platform, or it depends on what. Mining, I would say, is out the question. So I would just say,
personally, mining is out of my.
yeah, that should be out of the question. So it'd either be if you want to do high risk lending or low risk, and we kind of went over the two there.
Low risk lending would be like the
So far, having not gotten the intricacies of the trading,
of trading.
having not knowing too well all about.
But here's the thing with trading, unless you're going to be sitting in front of a computer all day, buying the currencies low, because if you're trying to buy Bitcoin, even though Bitcoin is volatile, you're not going to make that much money. You would have to buy the other currencies and trade them into Bitcoin. So you could buy there was one there. I had a friend. He made, I think he said he made 10 grand off of it. It's called OMG. I can't pronounce it. The ticker symbol is OMG. He bought that at, I think he bought that at like $3 and sold it at 17. So, but he was unemployed, so he just sat there and watched it. He bought it low, I watched it climb, sold it. So I mean, then when you're doing that, you're competing with trading bots. So, like I said, I don't want to compete with a trading bot. That's not fair. I can't make that decision as fast as a robot. So you can do that's a good and bad of trading. Or you can go with the investing like a Bitcoin. You can just think the minimum to start there is $100, and that with that $100 just you average about between 0.9% and up to 2% a day. When they just pay you at the end of the day. Like every night at 11:56 p.m. I go look at my wallet. Oh, nice. Like, that's the only time I check it unless I'm adding more money to it. So like that's what I do every night. But if you're just coming in and like you just want to put the minimum in, I would advise stay away from mining because you have to put a lot of money into mining to make money from it. I would advise like a lending platform. So I actually have a friend of mine that I'm gonna meet up with after here, and she actually wants to do BitConnect and Laser. So she has $500. She just want to split it in two. So the money will grow faster on Laser, but like you said, it's a higher risk. With BitConnect, it's a slow, steady race and slow, steady gain every day. So what she's gonna do with the money that she makes from Laser is just flip it right into BitConnect. So like any amount of money you coming in, I would advise if you can split it, and that way you have multiple streams of income coming in.
Anyway, so far, actually, we are not around where you guys took off the trading.
I'm sorry.
I said we didn't come earlier when you started off the training.
Yeah, well, that's just
We came late.
you can trade, but that's not so recommended.
Yeah, but we actually got my attention where the platform you opened up where you have your own investments. I don't know if you get it. I've had some investments with some other organizations anyway.
Which ones were you in?
So they're in Nigeria.
Oh, okay. And Bitcoin?
I don't really know what they trade on. All I know I invested.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bitcoin is huge.
I don't worry myself about what they
Yeah, it's
what
huge.
they trade on it. All I know is get my percentage at the end of the month. Like I'm trying to say, where actually got my attention is the area you just opened up where you have your own investments.
Yeah.
And I would wish to take it up from that area.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I don't know how you organize the trading for trading.
Well, I'm not doing the trading. The site's doing the trading. They just pay me the same amount.
Yeah, I know. I mean, this present meeting that we are having, I don't know how it's being organized and what could be our targets as the set objective.
Well, this one was just to get everybody on the baseline. Because if I would have started talking about ICOs and trading and this and that, people would be like, what are you talking about? So I just wanted to get everybody on the baseline here. Then the subsequent meetings, like I said, all these topics I talked about, we could have had a meeting just on mining. We could have had a meeting just on lending coins.
Yeah.
So
I would be pleased to get accounts on that same platform.
okay. No.
If possible.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah, well, I would want to have more insight about this.
Yeah, so the main thing is, again, join that Telegram group, because if you plan to do any of, no problem. So if you plan to do any of that, you can just write in the group, because me and him are pretty active in there. If you have any questions, we can help you with it. is signing up, or or when you sign up, you can talk to us and say, hey, well, this is what's going on. How do I do this? He's very good on BitConnect and on Laser. I really only mess with Laser. So, and this other site called BitPetite. But again,
Who's actually Magnesius?
that's me.
You?
That's my name.
And what's your own name? Sorry.
Marvin.
Oh.
Sorry?
Marvin.
Marvin.
My name's Hiram. My name's not Magnesius. But yeah. I just organized this though. So
That's okay, no problem. I want to get into that platform.
yeah, it's
Guys, great meeting you. You
Yes.
said what? How do you say your name?
Hiram.
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 Al, nice to meet you. Marvin?
Marvin.
Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you, sir.
And you are
And Pete.
Pete? Al.
Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
We'll be in touch on the group, I guess.
Yeah.
Telegram, yeah. That's
Yeah, no problem.
Like, if you have any questions, shoot me a message.
Enjoy the rest of the night.
Nice to have you. Yes, yes.
nice meeting
Thank you. My name is Pete.
you. Najib.
Marvin.
Nice to meet you. My name is Ahmed. Pleasure. It was really eye-opening, very inspiring. Yeah.
If you guys have any questions, man, just when don't be too shy. If you're too shy to ask a question, just hit that secret chat or whatever.
Get somebody directly.
Yeah, one of us will.
I'm just a starter on this, so I'm trying to absorb all the information. So no question for now. It's just
You know, when you are talking about